Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to install your new Kaniwawa Power Pedal Kit, and also want to show you our new 3.5-inch rise handlebar, 800mm wide, and it's also paired with our stem riser that'll give you a total of 5.3-inch rise that makes your ride much more comfortable when you're standing up and no more that cramped leg feeling when you're riding sitting down. Now these are the parts supplied with your kit. You'll get the left side bracket, right side bracket, motorcycle chain gear, bicycle chain gear, a small bushing, circlip, freewheel hub with the freewheel, chain, spindle, and if you ordered the pedals and the crank. Now we're going to remove the left side bracket. So you need a 5mm Allen wrench. So we remove the screws. Okay, here you have the side stand sensor. So first thing you need to do is remove the jam nut, and then you need to turn the left side bracket. Do not turn the sensor cable because then you can snap it off and then you'll break the cables. If for any reason it's hard to take off, then what you can do is you get two nuts to be placed here, and you do the nut and counter nut method. So you can put two nuts here and then you start twisting until, or turning until you can loosen the side stand sensor, because some customers have told us that the sensor it's stuck. You can also use WD-40, but you should be able to take it off. Anyway, on my bike I don't have the sensor installed because sometimes when it gets wet, then it'll cut the power off. So I have it off. I don't have it installed on my bike. Okay, now it's off. You can just leave it there and then we'll install it afterwards. Step, same procedure. We remove the right side bracket. Make sure you keep the screws because we're going to need them to mount the Kaniwawa Power Pedal Kit later. Next step is to remove the side stand from the side bracket. So what we're going to do is, first of all, you need to remove the nut that's placed right here, and then you can start by removing this screw. You'll need a 6mm Allen wrench for this. So you can just remove the screw and then remove the spring. Now you need to remove this pin because we're going to need it to insert it in our power pedal kit. Now we're going to install this pin that holds the side stand spring onto the left bracket. So we put it into this thread. Put it in with your hand as much as you can. Then you finish tightening it with this spanner wrench. Try not to scratch the paint. Okay. take the side stand and slide it into here. Make sure we have the matching holes. Then we put the screw in. It's the screw with the shoulder here. Then we put it in. Finish screwing it down with the 6mm wrench. Okay, until it's almost flat here. Don't tighten it too much so you can move the side stand freely, and then you finish with the nut that comes right here. Now we're gonna put on the spring. It's a little bit tricky, so put the spring on the side that's nearest to the pin, and then you take something that you could use to do lever with. I like to use a long screwdriver. Then you can just start doing some lever. There we go. Now we have the side stand on our spring. Now we're gonna assemble the spindle. If you see, this spindle has 3 holes, so we're gonna put one bushing like this, or collar, sorry, with the set screw inside the hole that was made for it. Okay, then you tie it. Now that we have installed the left side collar, we take the freewheel hub with the freewheel and push it into the spindle. Now make sure you have removed the top screw. When I mean the top, it's because you're gonna push it into the spindle, and then you make sure the holes, this hole on the spindle matches the hole on the freewheel hub. Once it matches, then you tighten this screw, not too much, just a little bit to fix the position, and then you can put the other screw inside so that it goes all the way into the hole that we made on the spindle. Now push, now tighten, 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 and then it'll go into the hole that's on the spindle, and that will secure its position. Then we tighten the second one here. You finish tightening, and the other color we're gonna just slide it in, and we're not gonna tighten it for now. Now we need to remove the bike's chain. It's actually a simple procedure. You need to turn the wheel until you find the pin that's securing the chain. Then you can take some pliers. I like to put the top tip on this pin, and then the other part on the downside part of the clip. Then we push. Remove this link also. Take care of the O-rings that come with the chain. Make sure you save them for later. Then you can remove the missing link. The master link, sorry. And then you'll just need to pull the chain until it comes off the bike. Now this can be the trickiest part of the whole installation. You will need a special tool, but it can be found at any hardware store. It's a lock ring or circlip removal. It's an external removal tool. So if you see right here, we have a circlip or lock ring securing the sprocket from coming off the axle. So we need to remove it. And this circlip has two small holes that will fit onto these tips right there. Okay, so let's start. I got one tip in the circlip. Okay, now I was able to take it off. Here's the circlip, and those are the two holes I told you. Those two holes should go into the pliers like this. We have sent you a replacement lock ring just in case you want to change it, because once you open it, it sort of gets deformed a little bit. So just in case you want to use a new one, we have supplied it with the kit. Now you need to remove this sprocket that comes with the bike, and it will come off. Now to install the powertrain, first we're gonna take this small sprocket, which is the bicycle chain sprocket. Make sure that this set screw is outside so it won't interfere, and then we take this sprocket, we slide it in through here, we put it on the gearbox output shaft, and if you see, there's a small like ring here, so you gotta push a little bit hard until it passes the ring. Okay, now to install the motorcycle sprocket, we take this sprocket. You see we have made a small dent here to allow for the sprocket to slide in over the gearbox output shaft, because we've noticed that on some bikes the space between the output shaft and the swing arm is different. So this will allow for enough space. So we take two screws. These are the M4 by 16 screws. These are millimeter screws. So we take this sprocket and we slide it in through here. Make sure that the bicycle gear is aligned with the motorcycle sprocket, that the bicycle gear has one dent that has a thread. It should be facing down, and this thread should be empty. So we slide in this sprocket, we put it on the output shaft. We must find the correct position. Then we slide this one until it matches. Do not push it in all the way because the screws will fall down. So we just push it in until these screws are touching the threads. There we go. Then you take our special Allen key. It's supplied with your kit. If not, you can just take a 2.5 millimeter Allen key and cut it. The distance between the face of the Allen key and the rear, it's 1 centimeter, which is about a little bit less than half an inch. So you start tightening these screws. Make sure you hold down the bicycle gear until it's touching the screws, so it's easier. This step is a little bit annoying, but it's very seldom. The beginning is more difficult because you need to start the thread. So let's slide them here a little bit. Take the bicycle gear, put the Allen key in. There we go. Make sure the thread can be started there. Okay, looks like the thread already caught. There we go. And before we finish tightening this screw, we should start with the next one. Now that's a very uncomfortable position, so we're gonna do a small trick. You can take the motorcycle chain, and push it and put it over the motorcycle gear. Then you can use it to pull slightly until you have the screw in the position you want. There we go. There's more comfortable. Now we take, again, our Allen key, push the screw in, make sure the Allen key is in the screw's head. Take the bicycle gear and start. And there we go, the thread started. Already caught there. Okay, we're almost finished, but we don't finish the whole screw. So now we go for the third screw. Again, we take the motorcycle chain, pull it slightly, a little bit more. There we go. And now we push the gear in as far as possible as we can. Now we take the third screw and take the pliers and use the pliers to insert the screw into the gear. And we push it in. And then we take, again, our special supplied key, Allen key, and we start putting the screw in. Make sure the Allen key is inserted into the screw's head. Sorry. And then we start the process. The thread's already caught there. Okay, now we can tighten the screw. Tighten it good, not too much. Okay. Now again, we take our motorcycle chain, the screws a little bit until they are in a comfortable position. There. Allen key in. Tighten it good. There we go. Now the other screw. We have it in the correct position. Okay. Oops, sorry. And now we need to put on the circlip. And now we have our kit's powertrain perfectly installed. When you push back, you need to see the groove where the circlip inserts into. So that's very important. Now to insert the circlip, we get our pliers. To insert the circlip, we get our pliers and put the pins into the the circlip holds. There we go. And we put it in here, and we open the circlip. Once the circlip is over the output shaft, we take a flat screwdriver to push the circlip on the lower part, and we take out the flathead screwdriver and just push it in, making sure it gets into the groove. Then, just to check that the circlip is correctly positioned, you should be able to move it or spin it over the output shaft. If it doesn't spin, then you need to check around and see if there's some part that the clip hasn't been able to insert properly. There it spins, so it's correctly installed. Side bracket with the side stand on the bike, then we just start the thread with our hand. Now we have one screw, and the second screw, and then we take our 5mm Allen wrench and just tighten it slightly, not too much. Just have it sitting there, tighten it slightly. There we go. Now we have our how to install the side stand sensor. You should measure it here and see that the sensor is flushing against this part of the side bracket. Then you need to move the nut so it will stay right in the middle there of the two grooves, and that the sensor flushes here, so it's more or less there. And then you take these two zip ties, and then you put one around, not too much. Okay, now you take the second one and put them through the grooves. Okay, then you tighten them. Make sure the sensor is flushing, and you tighten the zip ties. There, we're good. Then we cut both of them, and that's it. We have our sensor installed. Just in case you're not able to reach with the cable, you need to reroute the cable. You need to remove the bash guard, and just in case you need to do so, you may also cut some zip ties that are holding down the cable, and then the cable will reach for sure. And then you see the sensor is flushing against the side stand when the side stand is down. Now we take our spindle. The left side collar must be fixed in the hole. The freewheel must be fixed also. Then you put it into the bearing and push it all the way in. Now we take our bicycle chain. This is a KMC bicycle chain, 1-speed bicycle chain. Just in case you have any issue with it, you can find it easily at any bicycle shop. Now we take the clip off, remove the link, remove the master link here, and then we're gonna put it over the motorcycle gear, over the bicycle gear, which is the one on the left side of the bike. Then we take the chain, put it onto that gear. Now if you see the chain coming down, you need to wait. You need to put it right here over the freewheel on this side, and then you need to take the chain and put it here before the chassis. Then you just take the chain, come here, get the master link. The master link needs to be installed that way because the chains are close, so we need to have the master link going out the other way so it won't interfere with the motorcycle chain. Then we put the gear in, make sure our spindle is all the way left, and now we're gonna put our clip back on the chain. Okay, so to close the chain, the master link, we need to take our clip and put it this way. The clip must be facing the opposite side of the movement. I mean, the open side of the clip, which is right here, must be facing downwards because the chain will be spinning this way. So always a clip closing a chain, the open side must be facing the opposite direction of movement. And there we go. Now we push the spindle all the way in, we put this bushing in, and now we're going to install the right side bracket. Okay, now we take our right side bracket, put the spindle through the bearing, and get a good position there. Now take blue Loctite and put it on the screw, not too much, a little bit like this should be enough. Then you start putting the screw in with your hand. Then put the screw in. Now the second screw, put on some blue Loctite on the tip of the screw. Okay. Now you can tighten the screws properly. We tighten it down here and down here. Okay, now we need to repeat this procedure on the other side. Now we need to remove these screws. That's why we didn't tighten them too much. Here, once it's out, a little bit of blue Loctite. There we go. The blue Loctite, it's medium strength, and it will guarantee that your screws won't come loose. Okay, so now you can tighten it properly. Now let's do it with the other screw. Put on some blue Loctite. Oh, too much. I had to remove some of it. Remember, start the thread with your hand. Maybe rock the the side stand a little bit if it's too hard. Okay, now tighten properly. Okay, and we have our kit fixed. Now we're going to install again the motorcycle chain. So you might want to put it like here on the middle of the rear sprocket. Then you need to put the chain in through here, put it over the motorcycle gear, which is this one, the one on the right side, the one's not occupied. So we just start making the the chain go through. Okay. You take the chain on this side and just lift here and pull, lift and pull, lift and pull until you have enough chain to pull from the chain and make the motorcycle gear spin. Now we just need to fix it on the gear. There we go. Pull. Pull, pull, pull. Right there. Till the chain is here in the middle. Then you just get the chain. And have it fixed here. So, and again we take the master link. We take the master link. Remember, there's two O-rings that go on the master link. Then push it through the chain. There we go. Put the O-rings back on. Take the link. Push it in. Now take the clip, and again, since the wheels are turning this way, then the clip open side, and the clip's open side must be facing downwards. We use our pliers to help close the link. Then we make sure you see the groove there. Then we push. And use the pliers to close. And there we go. Now the chain's closed. Now we have our gear installed. Okay, so this point it's very important. As you see, these chains, they shouldn't touch each other. So just in case this happens to you, because it may, then what you need to do is you need to loosen the left side collar on the spindle, and move the spindle a little bit to your left, and then fix the collar again. So once you have loosened the collar, that will allow us to move the spindle a little bit to the left, so we increase the gaps between the chains here. Then we can spin the wheel with our hands and check if the chains don't touch each other. Also, if for any reason you're not able to get a good gap between the both chains, then what you'll need to do is you need to loosen both of these screws and just push and just move the freewheel a little bit to your left, to the bike's left, until you see there's enough gap, like there. And then you make sure you tighten one of the screws on the flat spot. I mean, this shouldn't happen, but just in case, this is how you can fix it. Then you tighten down the screw on the flat spot. There, until you have gap between both chains. Check the slacks, and then just finish tightening one screw, not the other one. Oh. There you go. Okay, now you tighten both collars on both sides. One side, now here comes the next one. Okay, and do the same job on the other side. And that will keep the collars into position. The spindle into position, sorry. Once you have fixed the freewheel hub and both collars, now spin the wheel with your hands and check that both chains are not touching each other. Okay, now you may want to turn on the bike and try. Turn on the bike, start accelerating slowly. And there we can see that both chains are not touching each other. Now we are going to install the cranks. The right side crank is the one with the grooves, or it says right side. And we put it onto the spindle. Then make sure the pedal says right side. Here it says. Not easy to focus. There we go. Okay. So the right pedal on the right side crank. You have finished putting the crank into position, put the washer in, then take your right side nut. Please note that there are two nuts. Left side is brown, right side is silver color. Then put Loctite onto the nut, and after you put Loctite onto the nut, then you can start putting the nut in. Do like this. Now we finish tightening the nut with the ratchet. Tighten, tighten, tighten. It's also a good idea to put some Loctite here on the pedals. So we're gonna put on there, and then use your 6mm Allen wrench to tighten down the pedals. And use tighten, 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 tighten. Okay. And just give it a final torque there. And we have our right side, and our power pedal kit is now fully functional. Now we need to install the crank on the left side. Now we put the left side crank on, we put the washer on, we put the left side nut. Please note that this nut has a left hand thread, so it will tighten down counterclockwise. So we put the Loctite, okay. Now we tighten. Okay, now we're gonna put the pedal on. Put the pedal. The pedal also has a left hand thread, so it will tighten counterclockwise. Then you put on some Loctite. Okay, take your 6mm Allen wrench and tighten the pedal down. Okay. There we go. And now we have our pedal kit totally installed, functional. There you can see the wheel spinning by itself when you pedal. Thank you